सरस्वती भूषण प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की जय, नामाचार श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। स्वामी तो भक्तविंद की जय। All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vyasa Adyay Ishvara Iha Gyai Krishnena Adbhuta Karmana Prabodhito Api Itihasa Na Buddhyata Shucharpitaha Vyasadhyarishvare Hagyai Vyasadhyarishvare Hagyai Krishnena Adbhuta Karmana Prabodhito Pitihasai Na Buddhyata Sucharpitaha Vyasadhyarishvare Hagyai Krishnena Adbhuta Karmana Prabodhito Pitihasai Na Buddhyata Sucharpita Vyasadhyarishvare Hagyai Krishnena Adbhuta Karmana Prabodhito Pitihasai Na Buddhyata Sucharpita Vyasadhyay by great sages headed by Vyasa. Ishvara, the Almighty God. Iha, by the will of. Yai, by the learned. Krishnena, by Krishna himself. Adbhuta Karmana, by one who performs all superhuman work. Prabodhitaha, being solaced. Api, although. Itihasai, by evidences from the histories. Na, not. Abudhyata, satisfied. Shucharpita, distressed. Translation. King Yudhishthir, who who was much aggrieved, could not be convinced, despite instructions from great sages headed by Vyasa and the Lord Krishna himself, the performer of superhuman feats, and despite all historical evidence.
So, Maharaj Yudhishthira was very much aggrieved. He was thinking, Vaishnava, that I am a petty king, and for giving me the throne, so many people have been killed. But that is the greatest war within the recollection of 5,000 years. Kurukshetra, Battle of Kurukshetra. What is this figures? 6,400,000 people died in that battle. What is the statistics of the last war? How many people died? Is there any statistics? 2 million. And here it is 6 million. And
640 million.
last what?
No, 640 million.
Oh. $640? So which is greater? Hare Krishna. It's zero. This is business of zero. You add or subtract. So anyway, a very large number of people died. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he is Vaishnava, although he is Kshatriya, Kshatriya's business is to keep himself in power, even by killing his own son. That is Kshatriya's business. Kshatriya, when there is question of fight, just like Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev, grandfather of Arjuna, very affectionate grandfather, because the Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhim, Arjuna, Nakul, Sahadev, when their father died, they were small children. Naturally, Bhishma is the grandfather of the family, and he had to take care to raise the children. On one side his grandfather, and he actually raised the children, so very affectionate, especially fatherless. And the daughter-in-law, Kunti, was so helpless because this Dhritarashtra and his family, they were trying always to kill these Pandavas. And Vidu and Bhishma, they were giving protection somewhere or other. So still, although so much affection, when the war was declared, Bhishma took the side of Duryodhana. He did not take the side of Pandavas, although they are very affectionate, beloved. He replied that this side, Duryodhana, they are maintaining me. I am maintained by them. So I cannot go against them. That is not. Naturally, Bhishma would have come to the side of Pandavas because very affectionate. But he said that is not possible because I am maintained by them. This is the duty. if somebody maintains you, you must be very much grateful to him. These are the examples, Vedic culture. He is not maintained by anyone. But because he had no claim on the kingdom, he was thinking himself that I am dependent on this family. Actually, the kingdom belonged to Bhishma Dev, the kingdom. But he promised, his father wanted to marry Satyavati. At that time, his father was old enough, Bhishma Dev was grown up boy, 20, 22 years. But nature, his father wanted to marry again. Bhishma Dev is the son of Mother Ganges. Bhishma Dev's father married the predominating deity, Mother Ganges, of the Ganges water. So she was very beautiful. So she agreed to marry Bhishma Dev's father on one condition. What is that condition? That all the children that will be begotten, they will be thrown in the Ganges water. This was the condition. If the king agreed, then she would marry. So, when a man becomes mad after a woman, so he agreed, yes, I shall throw all the children. No, no. Come on. Maya Mahita, Maya Sukhaya Bharamud Bhato Vimura. This whole world, rascal world, they are captivated by this woman. Woman is captivated by man, man is captivated by woman. This is the tie here in this material world. Pumsang striya methuni bhava metha. I have explained several times. The whole material existence means this attraction. Janamaithunadi grihamedi sukham mitucham. There are so many instructive verses. Here, sex enjoyment is the most prominent, and people are captivated by this. This is life. So anyway, even the father of Bhishma, he was captivated. So this was the condition. So in this way, every child was being thrown in the Ganges water. So after all, Bhishma's father had become very mortified. So when Bhishma was going to be thrown in the water, he objected, no, I cannot allow. I cannot allow. Then I am going, now you can go. I shall keep this child. So, Ganges, Mother Ganges left Bhishma's father, and Bhishma was raised by his father. He became grown up. Again, this father became captivated with Satyavati. Satyavati, before her marriage, Satyavati is the daughter of a fisherman. The fishermen, in your country there is no such distinction, but in our country there are classification. A fisherman, there is a class. So they are girls and women, very well figured, very enchanting figure. So Satyavati was the daughter of a fisherman, and Bhishma's father became enchanted. So he went to the fisherman. He was king. So, give me your daughter, I shall marry. Oh, you are already married, you have got son. Why should I give my daughter to you? No, I am king, I shall maintain her. No, I don't want to give. In India still, if a man wants to marry, and if he has got children by his former wife, people will hesitate to give him daughter. Because there are stepsons. So nobody wants that my daughter will be troubled by the stepson daughter. No. Still that practice. To marry for the second time becomes a problem. But nowadays these things are gone. So, the grown-up son, Bhishmadev, he understood that my father is inclined to marry that girl. So he went to plead, canvas. So why don't you give your daughter to my father? No, I cannot give my daughter to your father. You are his son. You will inherit the kingdom. My daughter's son will not inherit. So how can I give my daughter? So he said that I will not accept the kingdom. I promise that your daughter's son will inherit the kingdom. No. Still I cannot. Why? Now you will marry, then your son will be inheritor. My grandson will not be inheritor. He was calculating that way. Pakka businessman. So, he promised that you give your daughter to my father, and I promise that I shall not marry. So there will be no son. So naturally, my stepmother's son will inherit the kingdom. Then he agreed. So Bhishmadev's father, although it was a little shameful that the son is canvassing for the marriage of father, still he could understand that my son is so sensible that I wanted to marry and he has managed. So he gave him one benediction, my dear son, he will remain brahmachari, I can understand, but I give you one benediction, that unless you desire to die, you will never die. Ichamrita. This benediction you will have. Unless you desire that now I shall die, nobody can kill you, and you will never die. So this was therefore, and because he promised so seriously that I shall not marry, he gave up his kingdom, therefore his name is Bhishma. Bhishma means very serious. So this Bhishmadev actually maintained the whole Pandava family. That means Pandava, the Pandava and Yudhishthira and Pandu, they are the sons of the stepmother. And because Bhishmadev was elderly son, practically he maintained even Yudhishthira, Dhritarashtra and Pandava. And then again Pandu, he died, his sons, this Pandava, Yudhishthira, so they are also raised by Bhishmadev. So much affection. But when there was question of fight, so Bhishmadev fought so severely that Arjuna had to be protected by Krishna. Bhishmadev, you know, in Mahabharata these stories are there. Bhishmadev actually had some affection. So Duryodhana thought that my grandfather is not fighting properly because the other side, his beloved grandson. I am also grandson, but I am not so beloved. But the other side, Pandavas, because they are fatherless, he has more affection for them. So he is officially fighting. He is not fighting with his real vigor. He complained that. But actually that was the fact. That, my dear grandfather, you are not fighting with Arjuna with your full vigor. I can understand. I am not fighting. So what do you think? Now I want that you decide to kill them all tomorrow. You can do that. All right, I shall do that. If you are doubting about my fighting, then I shall. So he made a special 5 arrows to kill the 5 brothers next. So Duryodhana asked his grandfather that let me keep these 5 arrows with me. I shall deliver you tomorrow morning. Otherwise it may be missing. So all these things, Krishna is Paramatma, he knows everything. So he saw that there is danger tomorrow. Now Bhishma has decided to kill all these Pandavas. So he asked Arjuna, Arjuna, you just go approach Duryodhana this evening. Formally the practice was, daytime there is fight, but in the after evening they are all friends. After evening, they are friends. One can go this camp, that camp, and talk together, sit together, just like friends. There is no enemy. So, Duryodhana sometimes promised to Arjuna that I want to give you some benediction. You can ask. So Arjuna said, Duryodhana was elder than Arjuna. I will ask you in proper time. So Krishna reminded that tonight you go to Duryodhana and ask him to deliver those 5 arrows kept in secret. Otherwise tomorrow you will be finished. So Duryodhana went to, Arjuna went to Duryodhana in the camp. Duryodhana received him well. Come on, brother, what do you want? He thought that we are fighting, Arjuna has come to beg the kingdom without fighting. So they are so liberal. He said, yes, come in. If you want the kingdom without fighting, I am prepared. But a Kshatriya will never beg, give me sir, without, no. If they can own by fighting, then they will claim. This is Kshatriya spirit. So he said that, no, I am not come to beg the kingdom. We shall fight, go on fighting. But I want those 5 arrows you have kept. Immediately deliver. Although he was very cautious that these 5 arrows may not be missing, but promise is promise, immediately he delivered. So Bhishma understood later on that the 5 arrows were taken by Arjuna, by trick. So still he promised that even without those 5 weapons, today I shall kill Arjuna. Unless Krishna gives his special protection to Arjuna, there is no escape. Either Krishna has to break his promise, otherwise his friend will be killed. So Krishna, when he joined Arjuna, he said that he would not fight. I can help you simply by becoming your charioteer, but I cannot fight. Because the purpose was that Arjuna was to gain the fight. But if Krishna would fight, people would say, but Krishna won the fight, not Arjuna. That we avoided fighting. It was sure Krishna fights or not fights, because he was on the side of Arjuna, it was sure that he would gain the battle. That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Jatra Yogeshwaro Hari. Where there is Krishna, the victory is assured. So in this way, there is fierce fighting between Arjuna and Bhishma, and Arjuna's chariot became broken into pieces and he fell down. And when Krishna saw that now Arjuna is going to be killed, he broke his own promise. He broke his own promise and took one wheel of the chariot and reached before Bhishma that now I shall kill you. Bhishma immediately gave up his weapon. So that was my promise. That I wanted that either you have to break your promise or your friend will be killed. So now you have broken your promise, so I am giving up. Because it is not expected that I shall fight with you. So Krishna said that yes, I have kept your promise, but I have broken my promise. You decided, you promised. So this is Krishna's business. So Bhishma was a devotee, great devotee of Krishna. So he promised that either Krishna would break his promise, other his friend will be dead. So he broke his promise. So sometimes Krishna breaks his promise, own promise, for the sake of his devotee. Nobody is expected to break his promise, but Krishna is so kind. For protection of his devotee, he can do anything. He can break his promise also. This is Krishna's position. So such Bhishma was so affectionate to the Pandavas. So Krishna wanted, Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, preparing for his death. So Krishna wanted that these Pandavas should go to Bhishma and hear his instruction. Therefore, despite his advice to Maharaj Yudhishthira, that there was no wrong on your part. You are thinking that you have killed, or for your sake so many men have been killed. That is not, you are not responsible for that. You are not sinful. For a Kshatriya, killing is not sinful. For a Brahmana, sacrificing an animal in the arena, that is not sinful. It is all explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Sadosam apinattajet. Killing is bad, but a Kshatriya's business is to kill. Without killing, one cannot become perfect Kshatriya. Because he has to give protection, and there are so many demons, rascals. If the king becomes non-violent, how other citizens will be given protection? No. The king's business is, as soon as he sees one undesirable element, immediately he would kill. That is real protection. Just like when Parikshit Maharaj was going on tour, he saw one black man was trying to kill a cow. He immediately saw, who are you? You are trying to kill cow in my kingdom? I shall kill you. He immediately took out his sword. This is king. Not that animals should not be given protection, only man should be given protection. No. praja. Praja means one who has taken birth in the kingdom. That is called praja. So animal is also American, man is also American, but there is no protection for the animal by the government. That kind of government, rascal government, was not there. Equal right. Your country says equality given. Why not equality to the animals? That is defect. It is due to absence of Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious person will not distinguish like that. For eating animal, they will philosophize that animal has no soul, therefore it can be killed. No, this is nonsense. Everyone has got soul. Even a small ant has got soul. But they have to kill, they have to eat, they are philosophizing different ways. Lord Jesus Christ said, "Thou shalt not kill." And now they are interpreting, killing means murder. But that is not in the Bible. So they are manufacturing their own ways of understanding Bible and ethical principles. Therefore, it is becoming valueless. It is becoming valueless. No value. One cannot change the words of the authority. If you believe in Lord Jesus Christ, you cannot make any change to your convenience. This is asking. You cannot be a Christian if you violate the orders of Lord Jesus Christ. But they are doing so. Now the Christian priest, we had a meeting in Sydney. One priest asked me, what we have done that they are not anymore caring for us. I told him that you are always violating the 10 Commandments and you say what you have done. Lord Jesus Christ says, "Thou shalt not kill," or you are killing, expert in killing, and you are still Christian. You cannot understand what you have done. You have always misguided people. I told him. So he was not very happy to hear this straight answer. But he had admitted. Anyway, so for Kshatriya, just like Maharaj Parikshit, if Kshatriya becomes non-violent, just like our Mahatma Gandhi started non-violence in politics. So that was a political policy. But in politics there is no question of non-violence. In politics. That is foolishness. Actually, India gained independence not by non-violence. There is a great history. India gained independence. Gandhi was fighting with non-violence. For 30-35 years there is no result. But one of the leaders, when he, ensued fighting, then within 1 year the Britishers left. So in politics there is no question of non-violence. So a king, a protector, Kshatriya means khat. Khat means injury. Injury. And tran means deliver. The Kshatriya's business is to deliver a person who is going to be injured. That is Kshatriya. Just like this cow was going to be injured, and as soon as Maharaj Parikshit saw it, he immediately took his sword to kill him. So this is Kshatriya. Therefore Kshatriyas are allowed to go in the forest and kill some animal. Because he has to practice. So what kind of animal? Not the cows or simple animals. He must kill one tiger, one lion, one jungle boar, ferocious, very ferocious animal. That was the Kshatriya's business. Not that a rabbit or innocent bird sports. This kind of sporting was not allowed. If you want to kill, you must kill one rhinoceros. Then one shall understand that you have power of killing. That Kshatriya used to do. Even, say, 25 years ago, Maharaj Jaipur, he used to go into the forest every year and he would fight with a tiger, simply with a sword. Simply with a sword. He would fight with the tiger in the jungle, and he was so expert, he would kill. And then the tiger would be brought in procession, in royal procession. Because the king used to say, this tiger is the king of forest, or the lion is the king of the forest. I am also king. So after his death, there must be a royal reception. So this was the function of Veda. So Kshatriya means they used to kill, practice. Unless they practice, how they can kill? Now our president, they practice only smoking. That's all. That's all. And when there is fight, he is in the chamber, safety chamber. And others, the poor boys, they are called by the death poor and go and fight. This is not Kshatriya. These are Sudras. Kshatriya, when there is fight, the king must come forward first. The other party's king also. The king will fight with king, and the soldiers will fight soldiers according to position. And when the king is killed, then victory is over. It doesn't require that all the soldiers must be killed. No. So there are many. This is actually Vedic culture. You will find all this from Mahabharata. Bhagavat also we are trying to explain as far as possible. The Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, this is natural division. So for fighting, Kshatriya. In India, because still there are some Kshatriyas, there is no such draft board. The Kshatriya class, they would come forward to be recruited by the military department. They would not go away. They will be very glad to access military service. Because in their blood, the Kshatriya spirit is there. In India there is no scarcity to find out a fighter. But when people are trained as Shudra, how we can fight? Therefore it is very scientific. Chaturvarnamaya system gunakarma vibhaga. So, the society must be divided. There is division already, natural. We have to simply pick up. This bar is Brahmana, this bar is Kshatriya, this bar is Vaishya, and this bar is Shudra. So they should be given separate employment. Then there will be peace. If a person is employed according to his natural tendency, he becomes successful. He becomes successful. But if you give some employment, just like to put a cart before a horse, like that, no, that will not be successful. Therefore, Krishna says that you can say that there is no need of Kshatriya, let there be all Sudras. No, then there will be social standard. Everything must be there. The Brahmana must be there, the Kshatriya must be there, the Vaishyas must be there, and the Sudras must be there, and the state should look that these things are observed scientifically and they are being educated in that way. That is king's business. You must see that the Kshatriyas, those who are Kshatriya spirit, they are being trained up as Kshatriya, the Brahmanas are being trained up as Brahmana. Everything is equal, just like in your body. All the four divisions, there's the head, that is Brahman. The arms, that is Kshatriya. The belly, that is Vaishya. And the legs, they are Shudra. So, as much as the head is required, so much the legs are also required. You cannot say one class will do. No. But the modern tendency is one class are made, and therefore there is confusion. There must be four classes. That is scientific. So our Krishna consciousness movement is trying to educate some Brahmanas. If the society take our help and conduct the business of the society, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, then there will be peace and prosperity. Otherwise there will be chaos and confusion. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Yeah. Change the view. Hare Krishna, hope I'm audible. So we'll try to have some questions, although Srila Prabhupada very elaborately mentioned about the episode of Mahabharata. So today's discussion verse was 1:8:45. Sorry, 46. So initially Prabhupada was explaining about the situation of the Pandavas, that how the Pandavas was raised, and they were fatherless, and they were maintained by Bhishma Pitama. So Prabhupada was explaining about the history of how Bhishma Dev or Bhishma Pitama remained to remained to be as brahmachari. So Prabhupada mentioned quite a few lessons from the life of Bhishma Dev. So we'll try to have some questions on that thing. So the first question is, why there was Bhishma Dev, although he was affectionate towards the Pandavas, but still when there was war, so he chose the side of Duryodhana. So can anybody tell what was the reason why Bhishma Dev chose the side of yes, Madhu?
Because Bhishma Dev himself did not have any kingdom and he was maintained by Duryodhan.
Right.
So it was this is what was mentioned, that as he was maintained by Duryodhan, so it
So
was
I'll choose
his
this.
responsibility to support him.
Yes. Hari Bol Jai. So the next question is to our online audience. Online audience may kindly try to answer this. Then Prabhupada was explaining about the life of Shantanu Maharaj, the father of Bhishma Dev, that he fall in love with the Mother Ganges. And then after that, Prabhupada was saying something very wonderful. What is the tie in this material world? So can anybody would like to explain what is this tie which is explained by Srila Prabhupada while he was explaining about the life of King Shantanu? So what was the tie Prabhupada mentioned in this particular class, that this tie is there in this material world? Somebody from online audience would like to give a try? Anyone?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, mother.
Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that in this material world, the man gets attracted towards women and women gets attracted towards man, and this is the reason uh, for uh, for his trapping into the material world, and also the sex life that he mentioned is the impulse to this relationship.
Yes. Haribol Jai. So then Prabhupada, after this, then Prabhupada was explaining about how the king Devrat, because Bhishma Pitama's initial name was Devrat, and then after that it was the name Bhishma was given to him. So Prabhupada explains that two reasons why the name Bhishma was given to Bhishma Pitama or Devrat, King Devrat, so or Prince Devrat. So why the name Bhishma given, which is explained by Prabhupada? What are the two reasons why the name Bhishma was given to Prince Devrat? Anybody from offline audience would like to give a try? Kuldeep Prabhu? Two reasons we want. Prabhupada gave two reasons. Let's try with the online audience. So anybody from online would like to mention the two reasons why the Bhishma Pitama is called as Bhishma? Okay, no one? Yeah, he took the he basically shunned not to marry. Strong personality.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, mother.
Hare Krishna, because he was Drira Vrata. He was, he said that he is not going to get married. He stuck to it.
Yeah, that is one reason, mother. Prabhupada also give another one. Okay, so I'll try to explain. So Bhishma Pitama, he also gave up the kingdom also. So the kingdom, as well as he decided not to marry. So these are the two things mentioned by Prabhupada. Because of that, the name Bhishma was given. Haribol Jai. Then Prabhupada was explaining about the Kshatriya spirit. That actually the Prabhupada was then went back to the history line where he was explaining about the Arjuna situation. And then when Bhishma Pitama took out 5 special arrows which were handed over to Duryodhan, then because Krishna as a Paramatma, he knows everything. So he sent Arjuna to reclaim those 5 arrows. Then at that point of time, Prabhupada was explaining about the Kshatriya spirit. So what is the Kshatriya spirit Prabhupada was explaining at that point of time? Does anybody would like to give a try? There was the episode was the Arjuna went to Duryodhan and some dialogues happened there. And then Prabhupada was deriving the lesson that this is the Kshatriya spirit. So yes, Sri Sanatan Prabhu.
I came late, so I think I heard this only. Prabhupada told that Arjuna, when went to the camp of Duryodhan, so when Arjuna reminded him of his vow or promise that he has to fulfill, Duryodhana thought that he might ask for even closing the fight, that I won't win or you stop.
Yeah, I want to kingdom.
But Kshatriyas are such, they relish the fight. So instead of asking for kingdom, he asked for those 5 arrows, which are kept for to killing Pandavas. So that is Kshatriya spirit, Prabhupada told. They relish the fight, they wait for that moment. And further, Prabhupada explained about Kshatriya word also. Kshat means to harm and Triya means deliver. So the person who helps to remove suffering of such a person who is going to be harmed. So that person is called Kshatriya. Yes.
Haribol Jai. Okay. So then pro- uh, then after that, these arrows were claimed, and when in the next morning when Bhishma Pitama was asking those arrows, then Duryodhana told that I gave up those arrows to Arjuna, and then he was disappointed and he took some vow that either the Lord Krishna will break his vow, otherwise his friend Arjuna will be dead today. So he did that, and then after that, when Bhishma Dev was fighting with his full vigor, he demolished the chariot of Arjuna, and then basically that during that time Prabhupada was explaining about that Krishna didn't took part in the fight. Of course, after that he broke his promise. But Prabhupada, so the question is that when Lord Krishna basically was capable of fighting the war, but still he refused to fight. So what was the reason? Prabhupada explained that Lord Krishna refused to fight. So this is a question to our online audience. If somebody would like to give a try. So the question is, why did Lord Krishna refuse to fight the war of Kurukshetra? Although he had such a power, he could single-handedly win the war.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, mother.
Yes, the reason actually was because if Lord fought the battle, everybody would have given him the credit that the battle was won because of Krishna's fighting, but he wanted to give the credit to Arjun, so he did not take part in the battle.
Yeah.
And he said,
Haribol.
I was
So basically, if the war is, of course, the war is going to be won, but if the third person, if he wants to say, then he would say that because Krishna was there, so the war was victorious. But Lord Krishna wanted to give credit to his devotee Arjuna, so that's why that's why Lord Krishna refused to. And then Prabhupada was explaining about the whole episode of Mahabharata, and then Prabhupada was coming down to again Kshatriya spirit, that he was explaining that the Kshatriyas are not like the people who would sit in his chamber and watch the fight and send the innocent boys in the battlefield. Then Prabhupada was saying that what is the meaning of true Kshatriya? So the question is, what it takes to become a true Kshatriya? Prabhupada also gave one recent example to elaborate or to state that fact, that what is the true Kshatriya means and what it takes to become the true Kshatriya. Anybody would like to give a try? Yes, Anandram.
The true Kshatriya would be the one who is in front, in the war front,
Okay.
leading the battle, and the army or the other people follows.
So how he would become that true Kshatriya, that true spirit? Yes. Yes, bro.
So Prabhupada told that Kshatriya is one for sake of protection from undesirable person. He can kill others.
Right.
So that is the Kshatriya, and he lead from in front. So he gave example of Maharaj of Jaipur. He used to go in jungle and fight against tiger to practice his strength, and so that was the example he have given. Kshatriya for protection of like his praja, he can kill others.
So basically, what it takes to become a true Kshatriya is basically killing. Killing is a thing. Yes. Haribol. Prabhupada also gave a disclaimer that Parikshit Maharaj was devotee of the Lord, and also he was a Kshatriya, true Kshatriya. And when he saw that cow is getting killed, so immediately he offered a protection. So killing does not mean that you kill innocent bird or innocent animal or a cow. Killing means basically to fight the ferocious animals. So that was allowed, not to kill any innocent creature. So that was a true Kshatriya spirit. Then time is also already up. Then Prabhupada was explaining about the Varnashram, how Kshatriyas, what is the role of Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And they should be trained from the beginning, and the employment should also be accordingly. So the question is how one can bring the peace in the life of individual and in turn the life in the society. So the question is very practical question. Prabhupada very wonderfully explained that how one can bring the peace in the living, in the lives of the individuals and in turn in the society. Somebody from online would like to give a try for this? Yes, mother. Medhavani Mataji.
Prabhu, Danat Pranam. So Prabhupada is saying we should cultivate Brahmanas, although in Kali Yuga everybody is Shudra, by practice of Krishna consciousness, by study of scriptures and the formula given by Prabhupada. We train ourselves to become Brahmanas so that there can be peace, like 5.29 and other things that Prabhupada has given, peace formula and other things, by study of the scriptures, study of Prabhupada's books. Basically, by practicing Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says, we can slowly cultivate to become Brahmanas, although we are currently Shudras. Danat Pranam.
Mother, only Brahmanas, if you train Brahmanas only, then...
No, see, so training is required to become Brahmanas only. Otherwise, generally, we are all Shudras. But according to Guna Karma Vibhagasha, Chaturvarnya Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So those who are inclined to protect, automatically they will follow the principle of protection, Kshatriya. Those who are inclined in doing, maintenance of cows or business oriented, they can become Vaishyas according to their Guna. And typically everybody is Shudra, but training is required to become a Brahmana because naturally we don't have the qualities of a Brahmana. So by practicing Krishna consciousness, we'll have this important, which is the head of the, the society. And also Krishna describes the head of the society is the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. So we need to get trained to become Brahmanas because generally our characteristic is that of a Shudra. And maybe there are some who are inclined to be Vaishyas and Kshatriyas who have the tendency to protect or do cow protection or business like that. That's my understanding, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Danat Pranam.
Haribol, Jai.
You know, I've missed anything. Hare Krishna. Danat Pranam.
Yes, correct. Haribol.
Witnesses to see that Kshatriyas are also getting treatment.
That is excellent. Yes. So,
Please, Sanatan Prabhu is not audible actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Mother Sanatan Prabhu, I was also about to tell you the same thing because everybody cannot be trained as a Brahmana because everybody has a different psychophysical nature. Some has, because this is division, 4 division is natural division, and the administrator or king should facilitate all those things. Though the one who wants to get into the Brahmanical training, they should promote that. Kshatriyas, and same for the Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas and Shudras and Vaishyas. So that will bring the peace in the life of individual and the society. So working as per the psychophysical nature of an individual will bring the peace in the society. Haribol, Jai.
So, Prabhu, I had a small query there because, generally everyone in Kali Yuga is said to be Shudras. So can a Shudra be trained to become a Brahmana by study of the scriptures, by following Srila Prabhupada's purports? So is it possible or is it not possible? Then, how are we having currently Brahmanas who are teaching Shastras?
Yeah,
so please advise, Prabhu.
Mother, this is a very high level talk which is going on in our ISKCON society in large. I am a very insignificant soul if I try to comment anything on this. But Prabhupada himself said that no, my 50% work is remaining. So that means this can be done. Maybe I don't know how, but I'm just putting a faith on the words of Prabhupada. And yeah, this should be done.
It's possible, na? Prabhupada said it's possible for Shudras to become Brahmanas by practicing Krishna consciousness.
If you ask my insignificant opinion, so I'm just going with the flow of Prabhupada, what Prabhupada was saying.
So, Prabhu, you can also check with Madan Sundar Prabhu what his views are and maybe share in the groups so that we also have a greater understanding of this, how we understand this.
Let me see if I get a chance to speak.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Danat Pranam.
Jaya Prabhu.
One thing, Mataji, Prabhupada mentions in this, Kshatriya training does not mean only study of scriptures. Kshatriya training means study of warfare. Like Pandavas were trained by Abar Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama also. Similarly, when you speak about Sudra, so by default, Janmana Jayate Shudra means no samskars has been done. But to even for the livelihood of that person, he needs training. Like if he is going to make a pot, he needs that training. He needs a guru.
Correct.
It will not come. So that training also comes under king's duty to arrange a system in such a way that such people also get facility to be trained to create things like potters, like our lohar, chamar. They also need training for their work. So it's not always about scriptures. So training includes both the things. For livelihood also.
Prabhupada, yes, Prabhu. And Prabhupada mentions in one of the purports, the Shudra tendency is there because Shudra means to follow someone else. Like he gives example of, those who are followers of the Brahmanas, right? The Brahmanas teach.
We are referring to this particular lecture, and here Prabhupada told that Kshatriyas also need training to protect, means fighting. So in that context, if you see, everyone needs training. Hare Krishna.
So can we train to become Brahmana, Prabhu? See, somebody who has that's my typical question is, somebody who has a Shudra Pravrti. Like for example, I am a chartered accountant. I'm used to following orders, my boss's orders, working like that. So typically Shudra mentality, following others.
That has been already answered many times by our acharyas. Anyone can be trained like a Vaishnava, and Vaishnava is far better than Brahmana. So it's already there.
So when we are saying that Shudras also have to be there, then we are actually talking about Shudras converted to Brahmanas also can perform the role of Shudras. Is that right?
That's your interpretation, Mataji. I am not saying Shudras need to be there. I am saying Shudras also needs training. Every Shudra is not willing to convert to Brahmana.
Actually, Mother,
it's not forceful, it's psychophysical.
Psychophysical nature matters. So there should be a facility. There should be a facility for an individual to utilize his psychophysical nature. That's what Prabhupada, I believe, is.
Correct.
Training needs to be provided. We are not saying everything is forceful. So you cannot train everyone as a Brahmana. Prabhupada created society, so those who are getting chance, they can be getting that chance, because nowadays there is no system for training, especially Brahmanical training, nowhere. So Prabhupada created a system. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mata.
Correct, Prabhu. All right, Hare Krishna. So the question that we need to ask Madan Sundar Prabhu or any other senior devotee is do all the people who take up to the process of Krishna consciousness getting trained to become Brahmanas? That is what is my question that arose in my mind, for which I seek an answer. Okay, Hare Krishna. Danat Pranam, Prabhu. Danat Pranam.
Oh. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedant Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, online devotees, for joining today's session.
Prabhu. Dandat Pranam.
We will continue. Hopefully, we'll have Madan Sundar Prabhu's class tomorrow. Hare Krishna.